What's up, my fierce and fearless business baddies? Welcome to another episode with me, Tiffany, the process princess and owner of Process Prowess, where I help fierce and fearless female entrepreneurs just like you create a more fun, dynamic, sustainable, and profitable business by breaking it down so you can break through. Before we get going, as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. I also invite you to join me on Patreon while I dive deeper, and who knows, you may even get some goodies. As always, the link for my Patreon and all ways to work with me is below in the description. Let's get going. All right, guys, today we are going to talk about finding efficiencies. And of course, there's many ways to find efficiencies in your business. And earlier I mentioned taking a step back, looking at the competition, looking internally at your systems and processes, but there's plenty of other things that you can do. The first thing that you can do is reduce the cost of your product or service, right? And these are just going to be high level examples. They're going to be different for everybody's business because everybody's business is different. Where you are in your business is different. But we're going to start with talking about reducing those costs of your product. Now, in addition to reducing the cost of your materials, you could possibly even find cheaper resources for labor, negotiate better shipping rates, and things like that. So if you are a product-based business, that's something that you can look into as far as reducing those costs. I know it sounds like a no-brainer and obvious, but it might have been a while since you've taken a step back. And that's the theme of what we're talking about is how are your business, efficiencies right now compared to how they were before? Did you just jump on the first supplier and you haven't really talked about renegotiating? You didn't think it was possible to renegotiate some of those costs. And now that you're taking a step back and really looking at everything on your business kind of laid out in front of you, that's something that you can definitely revisit. Now, you can also you can invest in the value of your products or services. Now, you can reduce costs, right? But on the flip side of that, you can also invest in making your products even better or your services even better, right? And if you're a service-based business that is solely based on who you are and what it is that you do or help your clients with, then this might not be relevant, so bear with me. But perhaps you can add more maybe features, more capabilities, right? You can increase your level of service. You can train, any staff that you have to make sure that they're being more efficient, right? And some of these improvements, right? Say that you're a coach and you offer one-on-one services. Well, in those one-on-one services, you can always add some products or programs that you already put in place because then that's going to allow you to charge more, right? And then ultimately that's going to boost your bottom line. And the whole theme here is doing more with what you already have, right? So try and take a look at that big picture of the offerings that you currently have for your audience or your client base and see how you can kind of package them up and make them more valuable to them. Now, this one is one of my favorite, building strong and efficient internal processes and procedures. Now, nearly every area of your business can benefit from establishing those repeatable and predictable processes and procedures. For instance, if you're, with your bookkeeping, your finance and accounting, if you're making sure that you're billing your customers automatically, then that can, and maybe even imposing some penalties, right, for late payments. That could ultimately end up saving you money, right? You're not having to spend an entire day going around chasing after any invoices. If you have that automated, then that's something that is going to be working for you behind the scenes and creating those penalties. I know it sounds harsh, but you know what it's like to, continue to chase a client for a payment. Having something like that, you can always have that working in the back end for you, right? You can also create an expense reimbursement policy instead of leaving all your spending decisions to your team and things like that. If they purchase something and as long as they follow the guidelines, and that's not something you have to be consulted with every single time. Obviously, you're going to want to take a look at month end, quarter end, year end, however you manage your books, and make sure that they are following the policy. But that way you can kind of empower and enable your team, if you have one, to go about doing that. So that process can become more efficient as well. Again, these are just high level examples just to kind of give you an idea of what it means to look at your business for any inefficiencies and the possibility of making them more efficient. That's the whole concept and the theme here. Again, everybody's business is different. So how this translates to you might be, significantly different, or it might just flip a switch and that light bulb moment will come on. Now, you can also invest in productivity enhancing technologies, right? There's a lot of free platforms out there. I know I said invest, but some of them, in order to make them the robust, smooth running machine that you need, you might need to invest in 10, 20, $30 a month for a membership. But having the right tools can really significantly improve your productivity. So for example, with the right technology, you can track your customers throughout their life cycle with your company, right? And we know that what we measure has to be tracked. And if you're tracking all of those things, then you understand, where is the fall off in that customer workflow or that buying life cycle? Where can you pick them back up? How can you create those efficiencies within your process to make sure that you're turning a lurker into an actual customer or a customer into a repeat customer, right? So now, besides making your marketing and sales efforts more effective and efficient, also some investments like this, they can allow you to flow through your customer service team. That allows them also to understand and present a more unified presence for your customers by improving your reputation throughout that as well. So any knowledge that you get and obtain when it comes to looking for these inefficiencies and building more efficient processes for your business, you definitely want to make sure that you communicate, get that feedback from your team. If you're a solopreneur, talk to a friend, a family member, a fellow entrepreneur, and kind of bounce some ideas off of them, or hire a coach. And a coach will really help you be able to take a look back and decipher what it is that needs to be impacted and how you personally can go about doing that. Now, you also want to allow for specialization, right? If you have within your company either systems or people that are kind of intended to be jack of all trades, it's not very cost effective, right? Because sometimes these types of processes are going to lead to somewhat costly errors and possibly even burnout, right? So if you do hire externally outside, whether they're a team member or whether you're hiring someone to do your social media or something like that, consider hiring someone that is a specialist that can actually lighten the load and improve the efficiency for you, right? If you can't hire a full-time actual, specialist within your business, definitely outsource some work, freelancers, a VA. That way you're going to get the expertise that you need at a lower cost, and you're not having to take the time to sit back and learn something new and figure it out and delay any progress, success, efficiency building, or, progress that it is that you're looking for because you're spending your time on a learning curve with something. Sometimes it's just better to flip a couple $100, have someone else do it so that you can get those immediate results. Now, like I said, these are just a few ideas. And when you're serious about exploring the opportunities that you have for growth versus scaling within your business, make sure that you're developing some type of budget, right? We talked about growth and scale and growth, your revenue, but your expenses kind of balance and they both increase. And the whole process within scaling is to make sure that your revenue is increasing, but your external cash flow going out of your business is really kept at a bare minimum. So if you kind of take this exercise and take a step back and look at the efficiencies within your business, the inefficiencies, and identify solutions for you to approach these, this is actually going to help you be able to spot quickly and remedy any problem or opportunity that you have to become more efficient within your business. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.
I want to thank you all for your support, and I know that was a message that a lot of you needed to hear. Down below, I'd love to hear your ideas for future episodes, your experience with everything that we talked about, or any tips and tricks that you have for your fellow audience members. If you'd like to be a guest on future episodes, submit an application below. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and connect with me on all my socials. If you're ready to get out of your head and into action, let's get you some more time, more money, more freedom in your business. There's plenty of ways to work with me, all linked below. And don't forget, when you have a clear vision for your business that works how you like to work, you become unstoppable.